When I was a kid, I used to think that no one did drugs. I used to think that parents and teachers warned me about drugs because they were paranoid. I didn't know the difference from uppers or downers. I didn't know that drugs could be injected, snorted, or smoked because I was a kid. At age 15, I started to chew tobacco, drink, and use recreational drugs. At age 17, I was sent to rehabilitation for 6 months, and I didn't graduate high school with my class. After 6 months of rehab, I graduated, and I went right back into my old addictions. Then I got in trouble with the law. I wasn't a criminal, I told myself. I was just addicted. When I was 20, my close friend died from overdose. When I was 23, another friend of mine killed himself with drugs. I was starting to see a face of addiction that I never saw before. I moved away, hoping my addictions wouldn't chase me. Well, I was wrong. I chewed tobacco so much that I had to have surgery, grafting pieces of my skin to my gum line. In and out of rehabs, having parts of my mouth removed and watching helplessly as some of my closest friends died around me. That didn't stop my addictions. The brain doesn't care if you spend 5 days or 5 years in rehab. It doesn't care if you get poker chips for every day you're sober. It doesn't care if you just graduated rehab, and it might even say, "Good job, now let's go get a drink." I've successfully managed my addictions to the point where I no longer desire them, and I can tell you why. It's because I learned about what they really are and how to manage them. There's a reason why rehabs have high recidivism rates. This problem is becoming more and more recognized on a national level. Many rehab programs require you to spend a few days, a week, or even months. Then you graduate, and they tell you that you're cured. You no longer have to worry about your addictions. You can now move on with your life, they say. If only it was that simple. Learning what they are and how to manage them is when you take control of your addictions instead of them controlling you. I went from an addict to an academic. I hold 2 degrees in business and psychology and studied rehabilitation counseling. I've worked at a counseling center, and I know what addiction is like and what it does to the brain. I'm convinced that the worst thing you could do to yourself and those you love is to keep addiction a mystery, thinking that it's some abstract notion that can be wished or willed away. I know what it's like making commitment after commitment. I know what it's like to feel as if there's a different part of you that desperately wants to quit while the other urges you to continue. I know what it's like to have an increasing craving for a diminishing pleasure. I've been there. It feels like a losing battle. Pharmacological agents, pornography, and other addictive behaviors are completely new features within our modern environment. This explains why addicts will sacrifice anything and everything to obtain their drug of choice, because it activates an ancient incentive system for survival. Our brains are not prepared to deal with ready-to-access rewards, and it's getting worse, but there's hope. Understanding the science of addiction can help you and those you love.